Hey guys, it's your girl Daphne Deuce, and of course, you're listening to Chatting with Deuce. Before we get started, guys, make sure you click on the subscribe button and the bell so you can get the notification whenever I upload a video. And today's topic, we're going to talk about life cycles. I'm going to share a few things that I've went through and lessons that I've learned and how I've grown and evolved from these life cycles and how I took a different path to not repeat these life cycles. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. So I don't know if it's just me or if there is anyone out there that pay attention to the life cycles, the repeated cycles in life. And I started noticing from my third relationship and also like friendship with people and also relationship with family members how I'm repeating the same cycles in life over and over and over and over again. But this time is through different people and different vessels. And before I noticed that I was repeating these cycles, I would give the same response. I would react the same way that I would act in previous relationship, previous friendship, or my behavior would have been the same if it was like a family member. And I actually had to sit back and reflect on everything that I went through when it came to friendship, relationship, or anything that had to do with a repeated cycle in life. And I started to notice if I continue doing the same thing, giving the same response, or acting the same way, I'm going to continue repeating those cycles until I change my response, my behavior. And we're going to start off with like the relationship. I noticed when I was in a relationship, I would leave one relationship and I wouldn't sit by myself and heal from that relationship. I would automatically move on to the next relationship to just fill that void, that emptiness that was gained from the previous relationship that I had just left. So I didn't take time to sit by myself, to heal myself, to love on myself, to be alone, to feel comfortable in my own energy. I would fill that void by being with someone else. And the fact that I didn't take the time to be alone or to heal, I end up getting the same result that I gotten from the past relationship because I entered that relationship with a broken heart. Entered that relationship without resolving an inner issue within myself or reflecting on, what could I have done better or how could I approach that past relationship. But instead, I found somebody else to fill that void. And that's one thing that I learned from the relationship. So I went and I decided, you know what? It's time for me to actually, before we get into that, when I end up going to my, when I end up repeating a cycle again with a third relationship, I noticed everything repeated itself as far how I approached the relationship, but this time it was 10 times worse. It was terrible. And I felt like I hurt myself more being in that relationship because I didn't take the time to heal from the previous two relationship that I was in. I kept doing the same thing over and over and I was getting the same result. But I felt the third one just put the icing on top of the cake where, you know what? I think I need to step back. I think I need to heal myself. I think I need to reflect and look back on these past relationships to see what is the problem? Like, what's going on? Why am I keep getting the same results? Why am I keep getting my heart broken? What is the problem? And I took time to, to reflect and understand, you know what? Not only, yes, these people that I was dating, yes, they had their issues. Yes, there were red flags. Yes, they had whatever the case, what was going on in the relationship, which I can't fully blame them for the ending. And I've learned I have to take full accountability for my actions. I wasn't healed entering those relationships. I was filling a void where I am depending on somebody else to make me happy. And so were they. So therefore, my cup was empty, their cup was empty, and we're trying to fill our cups with each other's emotions, which we have nothing to fill each other's cup. So it brought chaos. Now, that relationship wasn't able to work or to grow or to evolve because they couldn't water me and I couldn't water them. So I end up with the same results where now this relationship was toxic. We're going back and forth, and now I'm back to square one where I'm leaving the relationship emotionally broken. So I've learned to pay attention to repeated cycles. So from that relationship, I end up third relationship, I end up, let me go ahead and work on myself. Let me be alone. Let me heal my childhood traumas because I've been through a lot. I lost my parents at a very young age. I lost my grandparents. I don't have a great family dynamic, so I had to learn to let me sit back and work on Daphne Deuce. Let me heal my inner child, not only for myself, but for the people that comes around me, you know, for the person that I end up being in a relationship with next. And I also decided, oh, you know what? I'm also going to be celibate. So now moving forward, I ended up getting in a fourth relationship, which that relationship was pretty short. It wasn't a long relationship. And honestly, I would say I honestly thought that that relationship would have been the one, but it was also a lesson. It was a lesson that the universe, God, sent to me where let me test her out in this relationship to see what's going to be her reaction, what it is and what it's not or whatever. And I noticed in the relationship, because I've been single for such a long time, I noticed the red flags off the bat. And from the beginning, I already knew this person that I am in a relationship with, they have a lot of trauma that they also need to do inner work with in order for this relationship to work. But because I seen the potential in that person and I literally fell in love with the person because they were just a sweetheart, but they had internal work that they had to do. And I started noticing patterns from I noticed patterns from like previous relationships that I experienced, and I was seeing it in that person. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to walk away from this relationship because it's not going to work for me. That relationship it is toxic. And the reason why the relationship is toxic because that person has some inner healing to do. And also they were codependent. And the reason why I noticed these red flags because I took time to heal myself. And that's how I used to be. He was literally a reflection of the old version of me that died, the shadow side of me that died, the shadow side of me that I healed, where I used to be codependent. I felt like I had to be in a relationship. I needed to have someone around me to feel love, to fill that void. And it was easy for me to, walk away. But at the same time, I didn't walk away where I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to speak to you. We're just done. I still wanted to, communicate, be friends. I want you to heal yourself. But he ended up moving on he ended up moving on within 6 days next to another relationship or whatever. And I didn't end up finding out until I showed up to his house, and then he had another woman at his house. And from there I noticed like, wow, I literally was dating someone that was a shadow side of me that I healed. And the reaction that I would give when, you leave a relationship, whatever the case may be, I sat and I reflect. At first, I was upset. I'm not gonna lie. I was upset. I was enraged. I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm hurt. Like, I'm thinking this person's gonna work on themselves, but they're catching a void with someone else. But when I calmed down and I realized, you know what, people come into our life for a season. We're here to teach each other. We're here to learn from each other. And this is another thing too, like when people are married and stuff, everybody is a loner. Like we're a loner to each other. We are there to be around each other for the moment, but life expire. We all have an expiration date when we're supposed to be in each other's life. And I've learned a lot from experiences and the reaction that I used to give when I walked away from a relationship where I don't want to talk to that person, or I just want, like, this person is dead to me. No. How I felt with the last relationship that I just left, I felt like, you know what? I've learned a lot from this person. Even it was a short period of time, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned that, I'm still healing and I'm still growing as a person. And I've also learned just because, you can't be with someone doesn't mean like, you can't be friends with them, or, whatever the case may be. And for me not to repeat those same life cycles, you have to pay attention to the red flags, the patterns, and when those things occur. And as far like when it comes to like friendship and family, we have to stop being gullible. Well, speaking for me, I've always been the gullible type because I'm big when it comes to family. I love my family so much, And I used to be gullible for my family where, sometimes my family will put me in positions that wasn't good for me, because I'm thinking like they have the best interest for me. But in reality, they don't. And I've learned that I have to trust myself and trust my intuition and make better decisions and not take other people's word or advice thinking that, because they're family or because they're close friends, they're leading me in the right direction. Sometimes people that you think that, are close to you have good intentions. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they want to lead you to a road where you have to continue repeating old cycles again and again. And I've learned to follow my intuition and to lead myself. All right. So guys, I don't know if you guys ever experience what I've experienced, or also just peeping the life cycles that's repeating itself over and over. Let me know. Drop a comment down below. And let me know if you guys ever experienced that. And let me just give you guys a word before I let you guys go. Understand life cycles. We are living life to experience. We are living life to be happy, to love, to hurt. So we're going to experience different emotion. It's all how we take it in and how we see it. And keep in mind, we meet people for a reason. And those people could teach us, or those people could also be a lesson, or those people could be a blessing. However it come, however it goes, take it for what it is, learn, grow, and evolve. Thank you guys for listening.